Hi, it's Dr. Sarah Gordon of the PhD Journey Unplugged podcast. I took a couple weeks off from the first of the year, and I just wanted to pause a little bit, think about my podcast, think about what I want to do with it. I graduated my PhD program last May 2025 and came out of the gates running, kind of thought, oh, this is what it's supposed to look like. And then I realized quickly, that really wasn't how it was going to go. And so I decided to take a pause. And in that pause, I launched a podcast. And by the end of 2025, I have 40 episodes. And then I decided, I don't know what I want to do with this. And again, I need to take a pause. And in the last couple of weeks, I've been walking. I've been walking a lot and continue to walk. And in those walks, I'm getting a lot of clarity. I have a doctorate in leadership in health and human performance. And I will say, in that academic endeavor, my mental health suffered, my physical health suffered, and my social emotional health suffered. Now, here I am studying health and human performance. And even me, who's supposedly an expert now with a PhD, my life was out of balance. And I had to learn to set boundaries. I had to learn to be comfortable with non-negotiable time, to put in place things in my life that were positive for my physical health, my mental health, and in my relationships. And it's taken me some time to just reclaim that. I mean, quite frankly, I suffered burnout from the journey. And so I don't know what you're going through today and what academic or professional, or personal goals that you're going after in your life. But don't lose your health in it. I'm here to say, it happened to me. I lost my health in it. I had enormous obstacles in the 5 years of getting my PhD. I was blessed to give the commencement speech last May, and I said to the graduating class of 2025, we all have obstacles, we all have challenges, but somehow we figured out how to get through them to get here to this day. So we climbed those mountains, and we did it. And looking back and getting some space from all of that, it was tough. Life sometimes can be tough. It can be tough in different ways. It can be tough with a diagnosis, like a cancer diagnosis, or loss, losing people in your life that you care about, losing a job, relationships ending. Losing pets. There's so much loss, right? There's so many things. I know in the 5 years of my PhD journey, I lost people that I loved. I went through different challenges with an aging parent and challenges in my relationships, having to learn to say no. That was a big one. To social things that looked so fun, and I wanted to do them, but I couldn't. And so to stay focused on the goals. So I don't know, getting some distance from the journey, naming my podcast, The PhD Journey Unplugged, because of all the lessons I learned on that journey. I'm starting to have some clarity that I'm here to remind you day in and day out that your health is your wealth, that without it, really, you can't have anything else, right? And so there's so much randomness to life and so much randomness to even our health and our well-being. Sometimes it's just out of our control. We can try to do everything right, eat right, exercise, do everything right, and we can still get sick. But you know what? Let's at least try to take control. Let's have some autonomy in our life. Let's be intrinsically motivated to take steps to improve the quality of our life to the best that we can. That means setting non-negotiable time for yourself, whatever it is that you love to do. Walk, run, swim, bike, paint, sing, meditate, whatever it looks like for you. Be in the Bible, however that looks for you. Set that time aside for your life. There's got to be 15 minutes in there. Give yourself some time. The more time you have, the better. I understand we all have responsibilities. and not necessarily the luxury to spend hours and hours in self-improvement and self-care and wellness and all that kind of stuff. But if you spend some time in it, you become so much better for everybody else in your life. You know, at the end of the day, excuse me, it's about energy. It's the energy that we bring in, and it's the energy that we give out, right? When we bring negative energy into our bodies suffer, whether it's in the relationships that we're in or the things that we're putting in our body, we suffer. We get sick. When we put out positivity in the world and spread kindness and love, it goes a long way. When we spread negativity and we gossip and we talk about people, it's hurtful and it spreads bad feelings. So think about it. Think about your behavior on a daily basis. We're all challenged to make the right decisions. We all want to be happy. I get it. But let's be mindful about the actions that we take every day for our mental health, for our physical health, and for the relationships in our lives. And that's really what I've come out of my PhD with. I mean, listen, I know the research. I know there's lots of research. I can get on here on my podcast and talk about the research, and I will at times. But I really am here to talk about my experiences, what I learned. I went through, I would almost say to a certain degree, a war zone, mentally and physically, and in my relationships. The academic climb for me was hard. I went back in my 50s. That was hard to do, a hard time of life for me. I'm so grateful I did it because I truly believe now the journey was always about the lessons learned, not what I'm now going to do with my degree. It was the lessons to then now bring them to you and to share and to educate and to encourage you to take steps every day of your life to live your best life, okay? Whatever that looks like for you. It's such a short journey, I mean, I'm approaching 60. I can't believe it. I don't know where you are or what age you are or the goals you have for your life, but I hope that you have things in your life that bring you happiness and joy and fulfillment. Listen, years ago, I was sitting at a desk job for 8 to 9 hours a day, if not more. I was trying to fit in my exercise very early in the morning before I ran off to a very stressful job and pretty much sedentary in that job. For me, I hated it. I had to get out. I love to be out in nature. I love to move. I love to be physically active. I've been like that my entire life. I had to take some hard steps to climb that mountain to get here to this point in my life where I'm exactly where I want to be. So if I can do it in my 50s, I promise you, you can do it too, wherever you are, wherever you're at. Write it down. Write your goals down. What's important to you. Put it on paper. Get it outside of your head. Write it down. And take a small step to move your life forward, however that looks for you. And do it, sometimes and some days it's tough. I promise you, I understand that. But you put a smile on your face, you ask somebody else how they're doing, it really can lift your spirits. I mean, I remember once running a half marathon at the end of a half Ironman. I felt horrible. It was hot. I was tired. It was the last place I wanted to be at that point in time. And then I decided, you know what? Why don't I reach out to the people around me? Because I bet you they're struggling just as much as I am. And I did. I started to ask people around me, how are you doing? We can do it. Let's go. Took the emphasis off myself. And that carried me across the finish line. It really did. We're so connected. I say it on my podcast all the time. We're more connected than we realize. So allow yourself to build those connections. Allow yourself the grace of time to breathe, to find the things in your life that bring you peace and joy and happiness, to be comfortable in your own skin. It's very hard to give to other people when you're not settled within your own skin, your own body. So do some work, figure it out. Therapy, I'm not too proud to say I do therapy. I needed to heal from some things from my childhood. And so a therapist can give you kind of an objective view on things that you might not be able to understand because you're too emotionally attached to them. And so do what you need to do. Go for long runs, bike rides, swims. Physical activity is such a wonderful way to manage stress, to reduce burnout, to feel joy and happiness in your life, and to be able to give to other people. So these are the lessons I learned on my journey. So interesting to me that when I started it, I was just so focused on studying the science between exercise and exercise physiology. And what I came out of that program is a very philosophical view about life and how to live life. And I will continue to come on here and to share my wisdoms, when I feel like I have something to say to you. I hope that this is the first episode of 2026. I hope it inspires you to think, to reflect, to pause, to breathe a bit, and ask yourself, am I on the path that feels right for my life? Okay? Do that for me. As always, the information I share on my podcast and all my episodes is based on my own personal experiences. So I'm not necessarily giving you professional advice. I'm talking more in generalities on what I learned from my PhD journey. And the PhD Journey Unplugged podcast and my social media platform, which is on Instagram, you can find me at Dr. Sarah Gordon. I do reels and beautiful sunrises, and I integrate my photography on my social media platforms. You can go to Facebook too. The PhD Journey Unplugged has a Facebook page. And I will always try to bring you positivity and honesty and authentic conversations about how to live your best life. All right, everybody, have a blessed day. Be kind to yourself. And if you like to take walks, get out in nature. If you live someplace where there's a trail and it's safe, get off the phones. Maybe bring your phone to take pictures, and just get off the grid a little bit and give your mind a chance to have some peace. Okay, we all carry heavy loads in our lives, and you'd be surprised. Just rest your mind, rest your body, and balance it with good nutrition and exercise, and the rest falls into place. Okay. All right, everybody, have a blessed day. I'll be back soon. Thank you, as always, for tuning in to the PhD Journey Unplugged podcast. Bye.